nice little 10 minutes, our usual joint.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, um, today is the New Year's special.
New Year special. New Year special. Yes, sir.
New Year's special.
Yeah, man. Did you make any resolutions, man?
Nah, man, I stopped doing that probably about 15 years ago
Mm.
because I understand the starting point. I get that. You know what I mean? Like it's one of them kind of deals like when you the type of person say, January 1st, I'm not gonna do this no more. And
Mm.
you're the type of person to do it, cool. But if you're the type of person, man, where you make a promise and
Mm.
then you break it, you feel me? Even though you don't intend to break it, you break it, you feel disappointed. At least the next month or so after you break that resolution. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm
Mm.
like, what I'm doing is my whole life is geared toward resolution. I'm just gonna do better.
Yeah, I get it, man. But shit, I mean, that's it's not for me. It's not disappointing, man. Hopefully I'll be around, next year to come up with something else. I mean, I mean, I don't know, man. You're supposed to look at into especially New Year's, man. You're supposed to look upon them with some kind of personal ambition. That's all New Year's resolutions are.
I
It's
get
just
it. I get it.
just improvements or whatever. And people, I imagine people started telling other people, just so somebody will hold them to it.
Oh, I see. So, all right, say me for instance, right? I
Mm.
say my goal is to lose 25 pounds,
Hmm.
right? Start off strong, go to the gym, eating on my grass and chewing on a piece of bark and some shit, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And doing all those things. And then, you know, on a little side note, when people break their diets, it's because they're craving sugar. That's why they break those diets. It's not because they're hungry. Is they crave that sugar. This is why when people break their diet, they go on binges.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna lose 20. So I always give myself a strong 4 months doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And then if I step on that scale and see that I lost 3 pounds 2 ounces,
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way. Next thing you know, well, it ain't gonna hurt that I got this cheeseburger. It ain't gonna hurt that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go work out today. See, that I'm that type of person. You give me if I have a job to do every day,
Hmm.
I'm showing up for that job and I'm going 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? But
You think it might be the way you think of the resolution? Okay, now if you say, all right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna lose 30 pounds by May because of this specific event, and that's how we can further our resolutions.
I
If
know,
if we connect the the positive act to an event.
you know what? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not good at doing that. You know what I mean? Like I have to structure it around my life. I can't structure it around an event. So if I'm going to do something, I'm changing my lifestyle. You know what I mean?
That's that's rigid, bro.
No, no, but see, that's what works with me because I have to stay steadfast. I have to be on my, I got to be on my square constantly.
Constantly, bro. For
Yes,
real.
sir. That's the truth. Because what I believe in, I believe in working hard. right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe equally in relaxation. So while I'm working hard, I don't think about relaxing. But once the work slows down, guess what pops in my mind instantly? Relaxing. It's all equally yoked. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta be rigid when it comes to stuff like that. What's up, Damon? How you feel, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, bro?
I don't know. Me thinking today was Thursday. Yeah, I'm missing a day somewhere. How y'all doing, man?
Good, we're
I'm
good.
good. I'm good, bro. How about
We
you?
live?
Yes, we are.
Let me go ahead and get caught up, man.
No,
My
no,
apologies.
we were just talking about resolutions more than anything. You know, and it's kind of weird the way I just described it. It's like, well, that's kind of technically a resolution. No, I have to make it into a lifestyle because, just like I said, hard work and relaxation is equally yoked with me. You know what I'm saying? So neither one of them got a bad rap because I do both of them to the best, to my highest thing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just this is how it is, man. I don't know.
I mean, if it were, if that's the way you work things out, man. I dig it, But I mean, I'm like, I concentrate on the thing, man, and I do everything I can to focus on that particular goal, and I work hard, but I understand that I can't do all the work, and that's in regards even to me.
Mm.
So like them cheat days and shit, I need them. I gotta have a time, man, where even in the midst of the storm, man, that what they call it, the goddamn calm port.
Hmm.
I got to pull in for a minute, you know.
I
But
got you.
I understand that when I pull out of that calm port, I'm a little behind the race, So I got to lean into it a little bit,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I get that, but then I get my pace back, and I'm good.
I can honestly say that I'm a hard worker because I am a competitor. Period. You see what I'm saying? Like I know people who work hard for the sake of working hard. Me, my competitive side has me putting in overtime and going beyond, above and beyond.
Mm.
That's my competitive streak. You feel what I'm saying? In everything that I do. You know what I mean? And it's just that's the best way I can put it because, like I said, relaxation and hard work is equally yoked. I'm gonna make that a thing. You know what I mean? Well, look, let's go ahead and start the intro, and then we'll get to getting what we're getting. All right, I'll see y'all on the other side.
All right.
Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. Got the look 2025. I got the boom, bing. No, welcome to Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke.
And Damon Armstrong.
welcome everybody. Welcome for tuning in. As we on our way, feel free in the chat. Make sure that if you have any questions, any comments, please let us know because we try to address everything that come across it. Just with a little bit of housekeeping. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. We are live every Friday at 7, between 7 and 7:35 on our YouTube channel by the same name, Facebook and Instagram. So you can catch us on all three platforms every Friday. And also what we do is we post them on all the sites so you can check us out. You can catch our wisdom. You feel me? So please go to our YouTube channel though. Go like, share, and subscribe. Build our numbers up so we can, so we can reach other folks. Look, I don't know what this means, but I always hear other parties say, yo, build our numbers up so we can be put in the right algorithm, so people can see us. You know what I'm saying? So when one of these two intelligent young men, clever young men that I'm looking at, say something viral, and then it just catch fire. Then all of a sudden, we Facebook, IG, and YouTube famous.
We can start traveling on the chitlin circuit and shit, performing and all that shit.
Listen.
Hey man, is there still a such thing as an algorithm, man? Cause things with this internet, man, it changed so much, man. I've been trying to do some research, man. On I told y'all, man, I'm trying to see if I can create some new revenue streams or whatever, man. And I've been doing some studying, man. I've been looking at this platform, man, and other things, trying to, what I got to do to get an LLC. I mean, everything is changing, man. It's like, you can't invest in nothing no more because shit ain't hot no more. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I just be a regular working job ass motherfucker, I guess.
Look, you always catch a reflection you like this with the ink. Jot down notes and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
that shit don't do no good, man. Everybody got, and first, people tell me, it's not as complicated as people say, and then they give me some old motherfucking complicated ass obstacle course I got to run. I'm like, man, look, give me your. Is yours right? Yeah, give it here. I'm taking it, motherfucker.
With that being said, how was your day today, brother?
My day was cool, man. It was cold. It was like 25 degrees this morning, man. I thought I was back at home, man. I was like, man, this is crazy. But other than that, once I got that cold out of my joints and shit, man, I was all right.
Did it seep down to the bone, man?
Down in the back of my knees and my neck, just aching and shit because it's cold outside, man.
What it say? It announced itself. I'm here. Yeah. I'm right here. Damon, what about yourself, man? How was your day today?
Man, I thought today was Thursday, so I'm trying to figure out what the hell did I miss 24 hours or what, man? But
did you?
My day was good, man. I had to get past. I had an incident yesterday with me, Cameron, and Nita went to Burlington. And some cat was in there following my wife, man.
Doing what now?
Following her, man.
Following her.
Yeah, stand her down, all that. So she got on the horn and she said, "Hey, this dude in here following me, man." Next thing I know, the door swung open. My son was on his way in there and shit.
Okay. Well, she thought he was a shoplifter or something?
No, man. Some dude was just, I don't know what his purpose was, but it made her uncomfortable, man.
Was it a white guy? She
said he was like Lebanese or something like that. She told me what he was, but what I did was I sat there and watched him come up. Big guy, man. I watched him walk out the building, but as soon as Cameron went in there, he stepped off. But bottom line is it made her feel uncomfortable, man. She called in the troops.
Gotcha.
My son was like, "Hold on," he was out the door.
So Cameron charged in there and they grabbed her arm with the purse. Mom, no.
I ain't hear you, man. But you laughing. So what'd you say? What'd you say?
So Cameron ran in there and grabbed her arm with the purse. Like, no, Mom, no. I'll tell you later, bro.
He said he walked in there, stood next to her, and was looking at him like, she was some. I'm the son. I'm here to handle whatever come. I'm here to handle that.
That's a good thing. I'm glad he was there. I'm glad everything worked out, man. But
yeah, me too. Me too. I got a question though. When a brother came here, why do he do this? No, why do you?
Then catch that echo.
No, I put my earbud in. I was like,
look, that reverberation. Like, huh? Say it again, brother. I ain't hear you.
That's like every time, each and every time, and I noticed it when my wife told me. But every time I get lost or whatever driving, I turn the goddamn music down. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like it's just a connection to me. I don't know.
You know what? That's some universal stuff, man. That's what's so funny about it. That's why I'm laughing. Because I'm like, why do we turn the music down? So we need to concentrate.
Concentrate. Yeah. Look here, man. This neighborhood don't look cool, man.
And whoever riding with you would think it would be obvious that a motherfucker needs some quiet so he can get his bearings right. But they keep on talking this shit. I need it quiet in this mother. I just turned the jam down, bro. I need it quiet. Be quiet, motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, especially when they be like, no, man, you the one lost. No, I don't know where we at. You lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't help me.
Yeah. I'm lost, and I'm gonna be the only one axe murdered, motherfucker.
I'm gonna tell you the craziest thing though, man, which is crazy. The greatest invention when it comes to driving is the GPS. Can you agree on that or not? But see, I think to me, this is my opinion. I think it is, right? But what the GPS did to me, because I was Daniel Boone, you hear me? Before the GPS, I could find my way. I don't care if I've never been to these certain places. I could sit here and pay attention to what I'm doing, right? And say, okay, because when you know where north, south, east, and west is, and you know where you're trying to go, you figure it out. Man, what was the name of those, the portable GPS joints before the
TomToms.
TomToms, man.
TomToms,
I swear to God, TomToms went into my head and straight up kicked in my door and stole everything out of my directions, man.
Technology just done stole years of history from everybody, man.
I really believe that. For real, man, because I'm the man when it comes to putting it on my phone and boom, beep, beep, boom, boom, I'm here, right? But if my phone needs to be charged, now I'm sitting up there like,
and my phone need to be charged. I'll see you tomorrow, bro. That's just what it is. Before GPS, man, I used to drive by sight. Everybody couldn't nobody believe. Couldn't nobody believe it. But then I got the GPS, relying on that, and then I try to drive by sight again, and now I drive by somewhere that's supposed to be familiar. If a motherfucker cut a tree down, I don't know where the fuck I am.
Right. Hey, look, here's the crazy thing though. When you sitting there, I used to be like, yo, as long as I got a full tank of gas, I'm not afraid to get lost.
There it is.
That's how I used to be before GPS. That's real. I don't care where I was. I would look at that. I would look at that gas indicator. If it was at least 3/4, I'm like, oh, I'm cool. I'm gonna figure this out.
But the GPS killed me too, man, because you mess around and follow the GPS and get to your location and you realize that all you had to do was hang a left from where you started at. You right there, you know.
Yeah. And I can tell, like as far as directions go, man, I can tell like I'm getting old because it's certain people I won't ask for directions. You know, I ain't gonna say that. That's messed up.
I don't know, man. Bro, 2024. My 2024 was a very eventful 2024. Health-wise, I was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, going through the usual stuff, so nothing major. But when it came to my, is it the word constitution or just my resolve was challenged. It was challenged, and not out of fear, but out of frustration more than anything, because you gotta think about it. That this whole year, and it's nothing political when I say this, but this whole year having to deal with the Trump situation. You know what I'm saying? And then Biden going through his bouts of senility, right? And then backing Kamala Harris and want her to triumph over everything she was against, right? It was taxing for me because of the ridiculousness more than anything. Where you telling me you picking my dog up by the body, you wagging it and keeping it, you wagging the whole body, but you keeping the tail still. Like the movie, Wag the Dog. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think our country fell victim of that. At least the last 2 years, from both sides. And that's just part of just what my 2024 was about.
I mean, it was some pretty big political decisions made this, you know, last year, man. You know, and I think it all was like, I think we were all victims of goddamn political boredom, man. Basically, you know, I don't know, a lot of this generation, man, is responsible for a lot of shit, politically, technologically, socially. Well, not so much socially, man, because I mean we're kind of stagnant. But you know, some things, man, has just become ultra important to us. You know, freaking Ring cameras, for instance, man. I believe that, you know, Ring cameras kind of violate my privacy. Other people's, yeah. I mean, because you know, I got several neighbors around me with Ring cameras, right? Might be a good thing for them, but you know, it's also recording my comings and goings, right? And okay, and I don't want nobody keeping track of me like that.
You value your privacy.
I do, and I'm not trying, and you know, I'm not saying I'm trying to get away with anything, you know, or something like that, but I don't know anything about the technology, man. You know, it's certain things when they come out, I avoid it, like cell phones. Like I don't have like the latest. I got a new phone, but it's not the latest model of Android or whatever. It's just, you know, basically the one I had for years before. It's just, you know, it's just a newer model or whatever, because I don't need all those upgrades and all that. So I don't know what to do with them. You know what I mean? It's I don't know.
Paying a lot of money for something that you're not using, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, man, but you know the price of cell phones, man, has jumped like doggone astronomically, man, in only like a couple of years.
You know what always got me, bro? Is when they with them iPhones, man. They come out with every 5 years or something, or every 10 years, whatever, and it's always an upgrade. And I'm like, why you just can't come with the real true thing? You know what I'm saying? With the technology, I mean, with the pixels and all that stuff. And I don't know if that's with iPhones, whatever, but your picture is truer and it's better, and it's how better can it be, man?
Yeah.
You know.
And why you spending so much money upgrading the cameras? Well, what to make the motherfuckers waterproof
or shatterproof where you drop it and shit?
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. You know, it's like you know the scenario like everybody is like so fascinated with UFOs, you know, but to my knowledge, the motherfuckers is always crashing. So why do I give a shit about them? You know what I mean?
About crash sites, ancient crash sites and stuff, bro.
Yeah. If they were such bad motherfuckers, then why they crash?
That's something to think about. I think for me, man, is this last election cycle at the end of 24, man, it was a comedy of errors to me, man. And it was something, man, my age and where I'm at in life, you know, it was something that I had to take serious, but but going through the motions and paying attention to whatever, it was difficult, man. It was difficult because I would watch Trump, man, knowing that all these people are making the decisions whether or not they want this man to become president, whatever. And the only thing I could do was laugh, man. I'm like, are you serious? Are we serious? Are we taking this man serious? Listen to how he conduct himself, how he can carry. Because you know, if he was in your life in real life, how serious would you take him? If you knew him personally.
But see, that's the thing there, man. I mean, generations after us, they see, they have ocular proof, man, that you can't ask that question anymore, man. You can't ask that question anymore because anything is goddamn possible.
At what point, bro, do we look at somebody that's bigoted and racist and be confused about it? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We see what we see, and it is what it is. There's no denying it. So it's crazy for me to put that aside and say, well, what about his policies? If this person is racist and bigoted, we know what his policies are going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to affect my life or somebody that looks like me in a negative way.
Yeah, but it's also, but again, with the generations behind us, man, it's also going to fortify their movement, man, because they see that anything is possible when it comes to politics. So they're gonna have to become savvy. They're gonna have to become savvy, man. They're gonna have to learn how to think on their feet politically. You know, they're gonna have to, you know, tweak the issues, man, that are important to our community in order to, you know, to get them on the forefront so they're talked about.
I mean, it's just like it was back in the 50s. Everything is grassroots, man. But where people have a tendency to try to, you know what I'm saying, look at these career politicians and think that they're going to make change, right? They've been in the Senate for 20 years. How much change they're going to make, man? You know what I'm saying? That's going to benefit your life. Well, I got a stimulus check when Trump was in office. Really? Is that what you're basing your future and your kids' future on? You know, Tell me, make that make sense to me, because as a man almost 60 years old, that doesn't make any sense. That is not a recipe for survival, success, or however you want to put it. It's like, man, that, you're thinking about how much damage can this person cause with, in a seat of power. And that's all I saw it as when I wasn't laughing my head off.
When you talk about grassroots movements, man, if you were to take into account a cattle rancher, okay, and he's got 1,000 head of cattle and 1,000 acres to graze those cattle on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what he's going to do is he's going to cut parcels of that land out and let the cattle graze there and then move them. So the grassroots can replenish themselves. Eventually he'll be back, but he'll move them on to greener pastures. In the meantime, some of our issues and problems will never be gone. They'll never be gone. Sometimes it's economical, man, to work a problem for as far as you can work it and then move on to something else.
Yeah, but then you also got to look at it, the simple fact that if you move on to something else, is that ignoring it, or is it trying to find a better way?
No, hopefully before you move on, you'll have built your infrastructure strong enough to where they can maintain that until you come back.
Okay,
that's what politics are. That's what politics are.
Okay, so let me ask y'all both this question, and this is really your asking your opinion about it. When it comes to these days and times, when it comes to the political process, right? This is rare, where we see that the so-called majority is riding with a candidate no matter how flawed they are, because they want what they think is the end result, and that's just what they think themselves is staying in power. Because that's why this election right here, this is what I see. I don't care what you think, who you voted for, and all this. This was an example of people making themselves so afraid that they're willing to drink the pissy water in order to get to their goal. Because what you want is clean water, correct? But if say you're on the mountaintop, right? And the clear water's coming down the mountain. It's getting filtered. It's coming down the mountain. But halfway through, you see that people been pissing in that water. But it's still filtered coming down, but it's not as clean as it started from the top. In the middle, it started to filter down. So it is not as clean as it was when it gets to you. But you want it to be, you ignore that because that water is still getting to you. The lesser of the evils when it comes to what they want. Because really and truly, they want to stay in power. They don't understand that, and I'm speaking this from a personal point of view, they don't understand that there's no true majority power. It is a simulation. Voting, like I said, it's my point of view, my own point of view. Voting is a ritual but it's not the actual thing. Because when you tell me, I learned this in middle school. When you tell me the ultimate, even though there's a popularity vote, right? But when you say in the same breath that the electoral college is the one that determines the president, that shows that kind of tells me indirectly your vote matter, but it don't matter at the same time.
Well, people who depend on the electoral college voting system and all that understands and realizes that it's antiquated, man. But
it's all antiquated.
But if they see that they live in a state like Wyoming, you say, why the hell? How many senators and congressmen do Wyoming have? You know what I'm saying? It's just to make them relevant, but that's not the majority. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the popular vote and stuff like that. But those things are left in place because it's something that you can manipulate, gerrymandering and stuff like that, just to suppress the majority. You know what I'm saying? To suppress the majority. And you sit around and say, well, hey, he won the electoral college by so many votes and this and that. And, and then my man, speaking of Trump, he got a piece of the popular votes too, and say he won the popular and the the college vote or whatever. And then when you look at the numbers, you see that, okay, so he won by 2 million. But when Biden won, he won by like 15 million in terms of the popular vote. So it's not an equal thing, But he won by a landslide. It's historical. No, that's a lie. It wasn't by historical numbers. It was a lie, and then it gets perpetuated over and over again. So all of a sudden now people are thinking, man, was he really popular? Was it the majority rule and this and that and this? No, people didn't vote. They didn't vote because they were looking at the foolishness, man.
Bro, I
decided to bow out.
Okay, okay, and you might be right, but it's hard for me to feel that you are correct in that because it was too much.
Bro. I don't know if I'm.
But like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm doing is really and truly just adding on to your opinion, where people were either afraid to vote or they didn't vote because they were angry and confused at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It had reason to be.
But see, okay.
I don't know about the confusion part, but angry, I can see. I understand why people, didn't deal with it because it's like, man, what's the point?
All right, my
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
My last question to you then is: are you serving yourself if you were, to your point, are you serving your best interest if you didn't vote because of what you said, how people felt, or your opinion of how people felt? Are you serving your best interest for that?
I think, man, I think that for some people, there was their sense of power. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
There was their sense of power. Hey, I'm gonna abstain from this because I think it's all a joke. You know what I'm saying? And for them, what's changed in their life? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be politicians, billionaires and politicians selling United States for the highest bidder.
I got you.
And
how much power? How much? I'm sorry to cut you off, but real quick, how much power do we have over that? Because you just said something that's really and truly is a fact, I think. But how much power and control do we have as individuals? No, as a country, over that being sold and all of that, what you just said, Damon?
I think that you have to go all the way back to the 60s, man. The power that we did have was, civil rights and all that stuff. There's power there, grassroots on up. There's power there, But then you got, people that's been in Congress and the Senate, been there so long, they're just about to what do you call those guys who come in and the lobbyists? They're all about patting their own pockets, man, and their own legacy, and they don't care.
That's how they use it, right?
Right. And people who has access to that, they take advantage of it, man. And then they do the gerrymandering, and then they do the voter suppression shit and all that, and it's all a part of creating chaos. What I mean by that is, hell, if you question this and you make this difficult or whatever, people be like, the hell with it. When how's it going to affect my life anyway? Especially the ones that's used to grinding anyway, man. Well, you know what? It's not what I wanted or what I needed to work for me. It's not going to work for me. So I'm going to keep my head down. You know what I'm saying? And just make it through this 4-year cycle and see what happens. See what happens after that.
If you're able, and that's the thing, which is always a good point, because you said that all the way up to the election, keep your head down. Some people are blessed to keep their head down. There's sometimes I think about the people who are not able to do it, depending on government situations and what's going on. You feel what I'm saying? Where they're not in a good place, so they're dependent on certain programs and different things like that. Like, is there a way? Give me your two opinions about that. Is there a way, a grassroots way, a way that there's community to band it together, so if the government, this is the wrong word, but I need a better word, but if the government fails us or is not able to take care of us, is there a community way of making it happen?
That sounds like militia talk, bro.
No, because I'm not talking about taking up arms to try to take something from somebody. I'm talking about being able to cooperate for food and clothing co-ops and different things of that nature. So people can, because really and truly, the grown people are grown right now. So the real main objective is the young kids, elementary, junior high, high school. That's that should be the objective of everybody, because those are the people who are going to take care of us when we're older and take care of the government, our country. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about that, not look, let's go take over this and go do this and take up arms and all that. Arms coming into play when they need to come into play. I'm talking about exactly what it is on a personal level. Is there a way that can happen?
When you deal with countries, even in times of peace, aren't arms a factor? Don't arms factor in? I want
you to ignore the arms about this. Let's just say that you don't need to protect or take from anybody. What is in place? What do you think can be put in place so people can be fed, so people can be educated? You see what I'm saying?
Arms.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna humor you. Tell me, in what way do you think arms has anything to do with what I just said?
Well, when as a people, when we spun our wheels politically for the better part of a century, and we're still in the same place. But what's the next step?
So let me ask you a question. Did you hear me even talk about politics when I said this? I kind of laid it down.
You laid it down, and I'm just answering the question the way I want to answer it, Keith. I mean, what's the problem, bro?
No, look, hey man, turn that high voice down, brother.
No,
I'm asking. I asked you a specific question, but you're getting stuck on. Well, look, there's some kind of armed conflict. This is what I'm saying to you is.
Or ask the question again.
I said to you, okay. Is there something? Can there be something put in place for a community to come in and do food co-ops, to do clothing co-ops, for education?
I heard all that.
And you said that that's arms. That's where you went to.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
And I also said after struggling for the better part of a century politically and getting nowhere, what is the next step? Eventually, man, you know when you're not being heard and you're contributing to society on a whole, man, you get to the mindset where you believe you have to take what you want.
So I see where you and I are having the disagreement. I'm not asking, because what you're doing is asking for something from government assistance. I'm talking about community cooperation. Community cooperation. You see, that's what I'm concentrating on. It makes sense what you're saying, so it's not like I disagree with you, but no, I'm talking about cut out asking anything politically, right? Because our grandparents and our mother and father took care of people. You feel what I'm saying? In the degree that they could, as far as what was within their means, they took care of people. This is where I'm speaking on when it comes to community. And I'm not talking about the exclusionary thing. I'm talking about the fact that you have to. Is there a way to bring people to put the egos aside and to build something just for that little small community? Start off a small community and add on as you go, but to build something where we don't have to rely on assistance. It's being done.
Well, how do you take away the government aspects of it when there are regulations and all these different things in place to make you say, okay, if we're building this community, say some people come together and say we're building this community, and money is generating back, within that community, and it's growing, but they're taking taxes out of the joint. You know what I'm saying?
Take the taxes as long as it's working.
Yeah, but you work every day and you build your community, and they're taking taxes away from you. You expecting something in return, bro. So you're going to involve, you know what I'm saying, the governmental, be it local, state, or whatever. You're going to involve that's going to be involved anyway, because they're taking something away from your community. And if you're not getting anything from it, then you just you know what I'm saying, you're just going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got something to barter, something to trade, then people.
Nothing, but I get. Go ahead and finish, man. But because it's the thing about it is incorporation. We see it every day with big business.
The reason why
And Trump
the reason
bragged
why
about not paying taxes.
the reason why I emphasize politics is because everything you presented, the Black Panthers did. And what happened to the Black Panthers? They were killed.
They were killed, right?
Yeah.
Because they were considered a part of a community that's not supposed to think beyond the way that they thought. Because they were killed and exterminated, but their ideas were adopted at the same time.
And who took their place? Government.
But
they adopted their ideas and they took over. Now, you know what I'm saying, it's distributed here and there, whatever, and it's not hitting the communities that they originated from.
But do you stop, or do you
no, you don't stop. Again? I don't think certain, especially minority communities in this country, I don't think they ever stopped, but they got stymied, man.
Okay.
All right.
I started before. Trump bragged about not paying taxes because of his corporation. His corporation, in which we learned this in middle school, that when you incorporate, you pay less taxes because you are able to do it. Incorporate, then that part of government is only that, because you said earlier, taxes is taken out of the government. I mean, taken out of the community. Of course, because that's the way of life. Income taxes, that's the American way. That's how we get taxed.
Okay.
So if you have that in place and you understand that's coming in place, right? Then you understand that's coming down, and especially if you have the great CPAs. You understand what I'm saying to you?
So can I say this to you, Keith? I don't. The name of the group escapes me, but if you guys can remember Philadelphia in the late '80s, it was
you're talking about Move when they bombed the neighborhood.
Move, yeah, okay. They weren't bothering anybody, were they? They were trying to be self-sustained.
Yeah.
They were trying to live their lives in a certain way.
Okay.
And the government, a black man, sent bombs in there and killed those people, right? Did they pay taxes?
They didn't pay taxes.
They didn't pay taxes. Okay. You just described this whole scenario about Donald Trump avoiding taxes. What is the difference between those two? Those
Ja'Cory, hold on. The fact that they didn't pay taxes is not the reason why they got bombed. Fear bombed that community. And when it comes to Donald Trump, now think about it now. I'm not saying to you that he was avoiding, he's not avoiding taxes. He has the tax attorneys who know all the loopholes, man. This is what I'm talking. I'm talking about loopholes. I'm not talking about some stand against the government when it comes to taxes, because they're out there. There's attorneys out there that make it happen every day. And mess around with this, hire a couple of Nigerians, and we'll definitely be on par. But no,
I just gave you two examples of why we I just gave you two examples of why we might need arms, Keith.
Ja'Cory, you to me, this is my opinion, and I might be wrong, but you're forcing us into this take up arms thing.
I'm not forcing
and no, hold on. Let me finish.
I'm not forcing
Let
anything.
Me finish.
It
might be, you might be correct in this much. We should always have arms, right? But if you do it the correct way, you don't need to take up arms. And that's what I was trying to tell you the whole time. This is why I said that I slightly disagree with you, because this is not a take up arms situation. When you brought up the move, it was manufactured fear. They ended up barricading themselves because they did not want to it was a landlord-tenant dispute, right? That escalated because of fear of those people, those folks, and all they was trying to do is live the way that they wanted to live. That's what escalated. And then them being black folks, dumbass reason to bomb some people, that's crazy. I get that.
Okay.
But it wasn't about taxes.
You said you brought up taxes, Keith. I just folded it into my argument, man.
I think I brought up taxes.
And you should, but yeah, Fluke brought up the taxes.
I brought up the taxes, and the reason why I brought up those taxes is because you're talking about Keith. You were talking about if you build a community, why can't you have the same access? No, correct me if I'm wrong. Why can't you have the same access as Donald Trump? You know what I'm saying? The same lawyers and that type of thing. Am I right or wrong in that assumption?
Yeah. Well, I can go with that. Go ahead.
So the point I'm making is, if you are in a place where you're trying to build a community and you're trying to raise up and do what you have to do to live out the American dream, I'm saying there's still going to be some type of government entity coming in, be it DSS or whatever, telling you how to raise your kids, taking money out of your community, and all of these different things. And those things are set in place, be it purposely or whatever. But those are the things that stymie some of those communities that you're talking about, that you talked about in Bodie. Those are the type of things that stymie them. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at this government, it's supposed to be for the people and by the people or whatever, that really doesn't work, because what the truth is that if you don't have anything to barter, if you don't have anything to trade, you know what I'm saying, then you are considered that, well, we're just taking care of them. And they can come up with all kind of, things to say or whatever to stymie a group.
But I'm trying to understand where the confusion is as far as a group is concerned, because I'm talking about regular people. Because food co-ops, that's regular people doing that. You understand what I'm saying to you? For a clothing co-op.
So they have no regulations? They have no governmental regulations?
If you do it privately, you don't have a government regulation, bro. If you're taking money from the federal government, of course there's regulations. Come on, man. You got to ride with me with this, because I'm understanding. I'm talking about self-sustaining. As long as you're paying your taxes, you can do what you need to do with this. You understand what I'm saying to you? But if you're not taking any money from the federal government, there's no regulations. There's no regulation. Am I wrong?
Sort of. I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, if you want to open up a daycare center, Keith, do you think they're just going to let you do that?
It's licensing. Yes, you got licenses, bro.
And where do the licenses come from?
Okay, you pay for a license, then what? Then you have things in place. What does that have to do with the fact that I'm talking about a food co-op? I'm talking about clothing co-op.
Okay.
See, it's not.
There's codes. There's if you want
things, even when you pay taxes, man, you are still a part of the government, man. You are still you still have certain governmental expectations that you have you have to meet.
You are absolutely correct. But let me ask you a question.
And you're not going to open up no daycare without it being up.
Okay, so did I say anything about a daycare?
No, I did. I mean, it's the same. It's a public service.
It's not the same thing, bro.
Food co-ops, clothes co-ops are public services.
I mean, as long as okay, now there is regulations of what type of food, if it's canned goods, if it's perishable, things like that. I get that, right? Of course, you're gonna be on point, and plus, you don't want to give nobody anything bad. You know what I mean? But see, that in itself is that's what you're supposed to do in the first place. This is why you even putting it together. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. I look at it in the sense of this. There's ways that you don't have to depend. If you're taking money, if you're receiving money from the government, of course you have to be a certain way. If you feed food-wise, of course you can't give them bad food. But that ain't your goal anyway, because you're not really, with the co-op, you're not really selling the food. You're selling at cost, if anything. But if you're coming together as a community situation,
right?
Then,
so in that community and in that co-op, are there do they hire lawyers, bro?
If it comes to money situations, you need lawyers, of course.
Right.
So
what's the reason? What's the reason behind hiring lawyers? Isn't it to protect yourself?
If you're doing something to that may harm somebody, of course you always need to have a lawyer on retainer, man. I mean, I don't understand exactly where we are disagreeing at, because it has nothing. If you can put yourself in position where you can be self-sustaining, and it has nothing to do with a radical group. You know what I'm saying? Has nothing to do with that. It's just regular people just coming together and cooperating and providing a service for each other.
Nonprofit.
Okay. But it's regulations under nonprofit too, though.
Right. Through the government, right?
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
So how are you going to avoid it?
Hold on. Do you really need a nonprofit? Nonprofits are good, but do you really need a nonprofit if
No, you don't.
If everybody is on an equal accord? Now understand something.
Right, but you're still going to be responsible for the amount of money that you bring in, because the government is going to come in and take their piece of it, bro. Just what it is, man.
So hold on.
You're not going to have a group
hold on.
That's building all this, making all this money and build up their community, making all this money, and the government ain't going to take a look. You're not going to tell me that group,
man.
Listen.
Of course, if you're paying,
you're not going to tell me there's not going to be an audit somewhere, man.
If you're paying your taxes, you don't have a problem, bro.
Okay, so you're paying your taxes.
Okay.
You're paying your taxes, and it's taken away from your community that you're trying to build.
How is it taken away from your community if you're paying your taxes? Everybody pays taxes, right? Right?
Yeah, everybody pays taxes.
I'm saying, how's it taken away from your community if you're paying taxes?
Depending on how much money.
That's a normal way of doing business, right?
Depending on how much money this particular group is making, you just need to tell me that the IRS ain't gonna look at it and say, "Man, they bringing in a whole lot of damn money." And are they paying the right amount of taxes? You think they ain't gonna be audited, man?
If you have the right CPAs in place, your taxes are taken care of.
My overall point, man, with the arms and everything, man, was the fact that, again, with the political stagnation that our community has experienced, man, what's the next step? That's a natural progression of things.
Cooperation with each other. Yeah, I threw that in that mix because guess what? We've been sitting up here talking about a lot of things, but the one key element is cooperation. Can you really tell me that we actually cooperate with one another? Because that's the key element to it all. You know what I mean? Because, other communities, coming from different countries, right? Asian, Europeans, whatever, right? When you go to the bigger cities, right? What they end up doing is they moving in Little Italy, Chinatown, whatever, Koreatown, whatever, right? They cooperate to a certain extent with each other. I'm not talking about this, that, that perfect world cooperation. I'm talking about we are in another country and we cannot totally stab each other in the back. So they have movement, they have motion. They have motion within their communities where there is more of a little less than the majority of them who succeed in business because of it. And look, they don't like each other as much as we don't like each other. But guess what? It's about a mutual cooperation. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's not that difficult. And see, here's the thing. Why don't we communicate? Why don't we cooperate? Everybody has their opinion about it, and everybody's right to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But why? Why is it like that? When we have more, to a man and woman, we can tell you exactly the trauma as a community that we go through. To a man and woman, right? But the cooperation, in my opinion, the cooperation does not equal that trauma.
It doesn't.
So, I mean, look, what's so sad about it is you both raised great points. So I didn't disagree with anything what you were saying. But the only thing I could say was I'm not going to use one thing to stop me from doing another thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was pointing out to both of you if it came up. Like, hold up. This is a good point, but it has nothing to do with what I'm saying right now. You know what I mean? It's what it, look. Go ahead.
I think, man, to a certain degree, you were disagreeing with us. And I think
yes,
that
when they not.
I think that what we were doing, me and Jacory were doing was giving you examples.
And I responded to your examples, brother. That's what I just said.
Right, but we weren't saying the same thing.
I didn't say we were saying the same thing. I said you were saying something that made sense, but it did not have to do with what I asked. That's what I said. Jacory brought up the militia, bringing up arms,
and he still has to make that point. Let's give him an opportunity to finish his point.
Hold on, let me just finish it. He brought up bringing up arms. I felt what he was saying, but it had nothing to do with food co-ops, clothing co-ops.
I gave you 2 points, man. I gave you.
You heard what I just said.
Yeah, I did. I'd like you to hear me now. Okay,
I heard you, but go ahead. Man.
I'd like you to hear me, man. Give me a chance.
Boy, quit saying that like
come on, man. You keep interrupting me. You keep interrupting me. You keep interrupting me, man.
No, I'm not, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead and finish your point, because I'm interested in hearing what you had to say.
I don't have a point, man. I'm good.
Look, I acknowledge every point that y'all made. But I also let you know exactly what I was saying. And you misunderstood.
No, I didn't
Jacory.
Keith, you bolstered your argument, but he didn't have the opportunity to finish his point.
I answered the question as I saw fit, man. And you didn't like the answer.
You said I didn't like the answer. What do you mean I didn't like the answer?
I mean, the way you challenged it.
Did I challenge the answer? I said to you that I
Yeah.
would. How did I challenge it?
You basically told me that I was wrong, and I didn't.
How did I basically tell you, brother? I'm listening to you. Tell me.
Bro, you challenged it. You challenged this answer.
Fluke, hold on, man. Jaquari, tell me how I tell you was wrong.
When I kept trying to make my point, man, you basically told me, man, that the point I was trying to make was irrelevant to the question you were asking, but you didn't give me an opportunity, man, to tie it in the boat.
Okay. I did say that it was irrelevant to what I was saying at the time. And what I meant by irrelevant was, hey, I get what you're saying, but we're talking about not protecting something. We weren't trying to protect food and clothing, is what I said to you. I didn't say you wrong and no, I didn't say that. I just said we're not. It wasn't about the protection of what I was saying, the community thing.
Okay.
I mean, look, I acknowledge what you both say, so it's not. And as long as we know each other, what I do is I'll tell you I think you're wrong. I'm not going to go around the corner. And this, we don't deal with each other like that at all.
It's time to move on from this, man. I mean, it's not going anywhere, man.
Well, look, when it comes to, as I told you before, I do not make resolutions for a reason. And mostly because I know I can't keep them. So
Is that what this started from?
That's exactly where it came. We was on the political thing. That's where it came from. But what we said earlier about the resolutions is what we was talking about.
Mm-hmm. That was before I came in late on that. So I don't really know what you guys were, I don't know the gist of the conversation y'all was having. You know what I'm saying? And it might tie in. I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm not picking sides or saying anything. I just simply said when Jaquari restated that, the arms thing, my curiosity popped up, and I'm like, well, okay, let me hear him tie it in. And I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he had the opportunity to do that. Is my point.
Yeah, I mean, but we moved on, man. I mean, it's.
And he did have the opportunity. He did say how he felt about that because I asked him what he meant.
Yeah, if that's the case, I stand corrected. We can move on then, fellas.
Well, really and truly, when it comes to this platform, one thing about it is I know that people will not agree with everything that I talk about. This is why I like this platform, because if you get a chance to express yourself, then that's what you do. You get the opportunity to do it, and you talk about it. And then in the meantime, and on the other hand, if we have questions, we ask them. And I like that the most. because you asked. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I try to be. I mean, because look, my argumentative side left me a long time ago. It left me a long time ago.
Here's where I'm at with it. I mean, you were both making your point on your side, and I think that's healthy, man. You know, to have a conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to convince anybody otherwise because both of you guys have your opinions. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of hearing each other out and saying, okay, and then ask the question, how did you come to that conclusion? You know what I'm saying? And then move on from there. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to agree to disagree. I mean, here we grown as men, we can do that, you know, every day. You know what I'm saying? But it's about having a discussion, you know, and everybody's trying to make their point, and they, you know, and they feel strongly about it. There's nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I'm saying? But let's just understand everybody's point of view and where they're coming from with it. And then we can basically agree to disagree. If it doesn't coincide with, you know, the point we're trying to make, or we feel, you know, that we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm wrong, man, correct me, because
yeah.
I mean, look, this is. I thought we had moved on from it. Is why I said yeah.
We did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, I thought about it today, and really and truly, I did have to see myself. I pictured myself. You know that when you're a young boy, you picture yourself. How do you see yourself in 5 years? That's probably a technique that you do with your boys, Jaquari.
It depends. It depends on, you know. I mean, a lot of us aren't blessed with that kind of foresight, you know, until our 20s, man.
I think
I would dare to say 30s.
I think you know what I think about it is hope.
Yeah.
I think it has a little bit of hope.
And not like it's a foreign concept. I mean, because myself and my teammates or whatever, we do try to, you know, set up those, try to help to set up those building blocks, man. Plant those seeds, you know, about what they're going to be doing, you know, in the future. But, you know, personally, man, I don't like locking a kid into one thing.
I get it.
You know, I think about the amount of jobs that I've had over my work career that I've been successful at. And I tell them, man, like, you know, you just that you're going to be successful at more than one thing, you know, and hopefully, man, you'll be in a position to move on when you see fit. That's what I emphasize, man. You know, living life as you see fit. You know, outside of incarceration. Hey, what's going on, IT?
What's up, IT?
Yeah, but as far as the, you know, specific question, what you gonna be doing in 5 years, I can't ask them that, man, because, you know, hell, I play hell trying to answer it myself. You know what I mean? It's a lot of questions that, you know, as a system, we ask young folks, man, that I just don't think it's fair.
Okay.
I think. I'm sorry, Brian. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead, man.
I think the fair thing to say, is, you know, the fair thing to say is that you have to learn from your mistakes and be responsible for your actions, man. You know what I'm saying? And coupled with that understanding, you know okay, this is the road I take. I can't keep making the same mistakes because I always wind up back in the same spot or worse. So if I feel adamant and strong about something, how is that going to affect my life? With the understanding that I'm allowed to make mistakes, depending on what the mistakes are. You know what I'm saying? If it harms or affects somebody else's life, then you have to be held accountable for that and live with the decision that you make. And I think that's the thing that's most important, to get people to understand that, okay, that's what you want to do, but how is it going to affect somebody else? You know what I'm saying? And can you find a better way to bolster your life without affecting somebody else in a negative way? That's a virtue, man, if you have that understanding. You know what I'm saying? And you can conduct your life in that way. Hey, you know what? I know how I can build my life with my convictions, with the understanding that I can do that freely without affecting somebody else's life in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? That's just living in a community, man. That's just living in a community. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a cause and effect. But it's learning, becoming wise, and growing, and bolstering your life and where you're trying to go and what direction you're trying to go at.
But let me ask you this, Damon. I mean, who has more direct influence, the community or the sub community? Because that's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the sub community.
Right.
Okay.
I'm
dealing with guys whose older peers has they've been effective in establishing this certain structure, certain hierarchy in our youth, in our at-risk youth. The people in their lives who's influenced them to do things that aren't right. How do I break that barrier?
You break that barrier by saying, look where you at, man. These are the consequences of your actions. You know what I'm saying? So with understanding that, knowing you're not wanting to be where you're at, how do you feel about that person who influenced you to be here? They're not here with you. What did you learn? That was Pop's mantra. What did he say? What you learn, son?
What you learn, son? I mean, but see, and I get it, and I understand it, man. And I ride with you to a certain extent, because we ain't got these guys for long term. They're with us for a long time, but not long term, because when they leave us, they're going back to those guys that influenced them in the first place.
Right.
And they're living the same lifestyle, and they have the guys that they look up to have been able to garner a certain amount of success within that lifestyle.
Right.
Now compared to what we have to give them, which is options to have success, on the straight and narrow or whatever, they see that you can have success, living life right, but it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
It's a certain amount of shit you got to eat from your boss every day, and they don't see, they don't necessarily see the guys who they respect going through that.
Going through the same thing because they took shortcuts. I mean, let's just keep it real. They took shortcuts, but by the same token, you know what I'm saying, taking shit from your boss, you have to understand in that job or in that situation, you have a plan. You know what I'm saying? Everybody takes shit. But in that situation, you have to ask yourself, is this a drone ass job that I go to every day that I'm not benefiting from it? Or going into the situation or going into the job and you say, oh, I got a plan and I'm not going to be there for long because this is what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And you study on that upward mobility. You study at that point where you're saying, okay, I'm trying to build something for myself, and these are the costs building my life, or you know what I'm saying, in this aspect. Then you become polished at that shit when it comes to you. And like I said earlier, it's about, can I gain? You know what I'm saying? If we live in this country, the United States, you know, where all dreams are met if you work hard. You know what I'm saying, do you allow yourself to fall to pray to somebody else because they try to get that shit off by taking shortcuts or whatever, but you a pawn in it? Or do you recognize that I have value? You know what I'm saying? I have value, and there's some roads that I'm not willing to go down because I want to give myself an opportunity and a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to fall prey to that. And a lot of that stuff comes from not having fathers in the home and shit. Or if not a father or uncle, say, hey, son, you're going down the wrong road, man. You know what I'm saying? This is not beneficial for you. And if they done time or in the juvie and all that stuff, they understand that concept. They understand that, you know what? This is what the road is going to take me. So it's incumbent to show them that, dude, ain't you tired of shitting and falling back in it? I'm saying, oh, dude, you know what? This is your third strike, man. Really? And you knew that was set in place for you to be locked up, but you still went down that road. You know what I'm saying? The trick is, hey, man, you involved in this program. You need to figure out how to finesse this shit to the point where you're learning from it, but you're also making yourself look like you trying to overcome your shortcomings and your mistakes to be a better human citizen, to be a better human being. You know what I'm saying? And then highlight that and say, look what you accomplished, bro. Why would you fall back into what you was when you accomplished this and you were smart enough to make it work for you in the right way? You know what I'm saying? You have to make a choice. You have to make a decision because you went through the motions of it. And the choice is yours. Can't nobody on the street convince you, because you know, you understand the system. You understand how to navigate this shit in a positive way. You just choose not to because you gave up on yourself, or you consider yourself a failure and you say, well, the hell with it. My daddy was shit, so I ain't shit. So I'm gonna continue to be that. I'm gonna continue to tow that road, and you might be smart as hell. You have attributes that contributes to society in a positive way, and you're choosing to ignore it, and you're choosing to ignore it knowing the circumstances.
So is that a certain amount of maturity level you have to be able to make the decisions of what you just said?
And learning from your damn mistakes.
How do you achieve that, though?
By recognizing the steps that you're taking to move in the right direction. Even if it's a small step, it's a positive thing. There's a positive outcome because of it.
Is there a certain age that you have to reach to even start in that direction?
Well, all three of us know, man, when do you really get life? You got to be in your 30s to really get life, bro.
But okay.
You know what I'm
saying? The question is to both of you guys then. What made you step? What age were you to step in that direction and where you did not want to go down that road that you saw you were headed to? What age were you that helped you to stop that?
Like I said, moving into your 30s, whatever. That's just my opinion.
So
it also depends on how many times you get your damn head bumped too.
Okay, so let me, and this is my point though. You said you reached that maturity level at 30, in your 30s, early 30s, or late 20s, 30s, right? But up until that point,
early to mid 30s, you get.
Okay,
you know,
so but up until that point,
idea where you want to move in your life.
Okay, the idea, but I'm saying to you, what stopped you from going down that road of mistakes when it came to being locked up and going to prison? What age were you then, and why did you come to that conclusion then?
I just decided early, man, that I didn't want to be locked up, man. I didn't want to, because jail was never a part of my big picture, And I'm not saying that everybody in prison, that's the goal, but in all reality, when you go about your everyday life and things work out a certain way, it's because you had a hand in how those things worked out, right?
Gotcha.
So subconsciously, a person ends up where they put themselves. As cliche and cold as that sounds, that's the simple facts. Ain't nothing by accident.
Yeah.
If your situation is fucked up, then you took steps to fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
I
remember I worked when I worked in the courthouse. I was a deputy. Worked in the courthouse, a drug court. So this is a monthly thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the judge was older judge, been there for a while. Very, very wise man, and also he gave these men and women breaks. But in order for these men and women to be free, they can't come back with dirty urine. That was the stipulation. You want to be free.
Mm-hmm.
We come in here monthly. Right? So I was sitting there the first time I was in this courtroom. His name escapes me, but the first time I was sitting in this courtroom, he was speaking to these folks, and they thought highly of him, right? And at the beginning of, I guess, adjudication, sentencing, finding you guilty, not guilty, whatever, he says to these folks, he says, listen, you understand that what this program is about. He said, and you understand your responsibility to this program, what you have to do. So when you go to jail, it's not me locking you up, it's you locking you up. And it caught me by surprise because that was profound. The reason why it was profound because in drug court, it's all about, even though a drug addiction is a disease, right? It's still self-accountability. Each and every one of these folks was accountable for themselves. You know what I'm saying? He said, listen, the same people that you hung out with, the same people who gonna they may not tempt you verbally, but being in their presence will tempt you. You have to change. He said, I understand family members. He said, I understand family members because you got family, you got to be around them. But when it comes to your friends, even if they're lifelong friends, if they're suffering through the same addiction you're suffering through, then you might want to change. And like I said, that struck me like, wow. It's so simple, but it was deep at the same time. You know what I mean? Because, the majority of the times, bro, it is true. You walk yourself down that path. No matter, I understand if it's an addiction and all these different things, but you are aware that you're walking down that path. Now, that's as far as I can say. People's personal journeys and why they do it or not, that's not for me to say. But the one thing that I can say is you're walking down there purposely, whether you're testing yourself or not. And it's not in judgment. No, it's far from it, man, because I feel blessed that I don't have that on my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Hell, look, I can't fuck with chocolates. But if them motherfuckers in the same room with me,
that sweet, delicious,
get away from me,
devil
Satan.
ass chocolate.
Get away from me. No, but it's
man.
You know, it's self-accountability, man. That's the craziest thing, man. I admire people who really and truly, seriously, and I'm not trying to blow no smoke, that really and truly say, I'm not going to do this. And I witnessed them not doing it. I'm like, damn, you're a hell of a man. You're a hell of a woman to be able to say that and accomplish it. Because I know me, it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? And I acknowledge those people every chance I get, especially if I know them personally. I let them know, like, yo, I admire that because they deserve the admiration. Because the majority of us, we have our vices. You know what I'm saying? We got our vices, man.
How would you use the word accountability? How would you, in your opinion, how would you go about teaching accountability?
You asking me?
Mm-hmm.
You can't teach it. But what you can do, in my opinion, is help people relate to it. Right? So, say if somebody caught up in some dumb shit, right? They keep getting caught at doing the same dumb shit. I would say to them, hey, you see this dumb stuff you keep getting caught up in? What if you did the opposite? I know you have your reason to keep doing it. I know you have whatever you caught up in, right? But what if you start replacing the one time? Say you do this shit 10 out of 10 times, right? 1 at a time, 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times, 6, 5. Get yourself to 50%. Because with all of us, I think that's where we operate out of, 50%. 50% means we're in control. In my opinion, 50% means we're in control. That's what I would say to him. Like, bro, give yourself a chance. Even if it takes a long time to get to 8 out of 10 times, you are actually practicing for your overall health, mental, spiritual, physical health. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be, and it's funny, that's how I go about stuff. When it comes to my sons, when it comes to myself, or if somebody asks me advice, that's the kind of advice I give them. Like, look, let's relate this. What's the one thing that you do and that is your thing? Related to that. You know, and see if you can change it.
I think what most people, man, struggle with is to try to find value in what society dictates from them instead of finding value within themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? And that goes a long way, bro. You know what I'm saying? 8 billion people on this planet, God's biggest miracle is that you fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? You was put here for a purpose. Who knows what that purpose is, but your best self is what's needed. You have to find that. You have to nurture that. You have to find it, nurture it, and become that. You know what I'm saying? And understand that you have value within yourself. It might be a value nobody understands. But if you believe and you have faith, then there is a reason for you to find your best self. But nobody's going to tell you that. Nobody's going to explain it because you have your own value. You have purpose. You are unique within yourself. You know what I'm saying? We have similar experiences, man, but how we take it in is different as hell. It's different as hell. And how you come to value yourself, you understand that difference. You know what I'm saying? And you live your life in that accord. Hey man, I am great at this. Or hey man, I could show somebody not to go down the same path because I understand this because of my experience. It's the knowledge of knowing thyself, bro. And that's what you contribute. You don't fall into place because you just a cog in the wheel or you just a nobody who's just in a place. But if your bad experience can show somebody through actions not to go down the same road, that is value. And you don't have to follow nobody else's script, just your own. Learning from your own shit. You know, and that's unique with each and every individual on this planet.
So you're talking about individuality.
I'm talking about you have a purpose.
So how do you discover your purpose? And how do you discover your individuality?
Your individuality that comes along when you like, I ain't going for that. That's not me. You get that. And you're not, and you don't fall to peer pressure. You know what I'm saying? You stick to that because you know from jump that's not you. But some people tend to get caught up because they're trying to be a part of a group that doesn't value your individuality in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And then you go on this road of, well, hey, you know what? You was this menace to society, and now we got to try to figure out how to make you fit into that society. That's not how life works, bro. Because you're not living your life. You're living to fit in. You know what I'm saying? The key is to understand who you are, what your gifts are, and invoking that into your life situation and living it and being an example of who you are and your gifts. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So people have this, hey man, I just need to fit in, or I want to be a part of something. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be a part of that. And you're killing you're hurting yourself in that regard. You're hurting yourself. Who do we admire? We admire those people who rise above and they this amazing person and this, you know, and it seems like their life is what it is because they figured it out. They figured it out because they're not trying to please every damn body. They're just trying to be their best selves. And through example, people see. You might not know who you affect in your life, man. You might not never know. That's God. That's up to him. You just have to figure out how not to be distracted and be your best self. And once you get distracted, you have to figure out how to get back on track and understand there is a greater purpose for you. There's a greater purpose for you. And the community benefits from you being your best self. If that makes sense to you.
Jaquari, a good answer. Jaquari, individuality, accountability. Those are the two things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think your accountability needs to support your individuality. I mean, you can't, you know, as Dana was saying, you can't very well strive to be a part of the crowd, you know, doing what the crowd does, and have this desire to stand on your own and live your life a certain way. You know, if you follow the crowd and all the crowd is getting locked up, you're gonna get locked up too. You know, there's accountability in that. There's accountability in, you know, like when the it's accountability and not getting in the car. You know how many stories I've listened to over the years that started with, man, that shit, man, I just got in the car.
Yep.
You know, so.
And that inner voice say, man, I don't know if I should get in this car. But you choose to ignore it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Some people choose to ignore that and they get caught up in the bullshit. And then they sit back and wonder, damn, how the hell I get here?
Because you got in the car.
Yeah, that's true. One of the last questions of the day is,
neck killing me.
huh? Well, okay.
My neck killing me.
You ain't got the joint you usually have on there.
No,
Yeah, I think it's that little virus going around, that little what is it? Sinus situation, man. Make your neck hurt. I heard because my household is sick, so I heard that. Yeah, my neck is stiff too. You know. How do you see yourself, really and truly? Not how other people see you. How do you see yourself in your group? Your Virginia group, your Michigan group, your North Carolina group. How do you see yourself? Right? And then second question is, how do you want to see yourself? And we'll start with you, Jaquari.
Well, I don't have a very large group in Virginia. You know, like I don't have a very large social circle in Virginia at all. But the people I do interact with, you know, I see myself as somebody, man, who's lived a life full of mistakes. You know, full of self-inflicted wounds or whatever. And you know, I do the best I can to, you know, I don't want to say give advice, man, because you know, when you're that guy, people hate to see you coming. You know what I mean? If you've always got a counter to somebody's problem, you know, even if you got something that they need to hear, they hate to see you coming, man, because you know everything's gonna turn into a proverb, everything's gonna turn into a sermon. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. Sometimes I am that guy because you know I've been through a lot. Been through a lot, man. You know, so I see myself as a person, man, who, like I said, who's made mistakes, man. And you know, I really don't want the next man to suffer some of the stuff that I've been through. You know, and a lot of my guys, man, I see myself at different points in my life, in my life, in my young life. You know, I ain't never been locked up, man, but I've done a boatload of dumb shit that could have ended me up in prison. You know, so that's who I see myself, man. You know, not as some sage, wise prophet or anything like that, man. But like I said, man, just somebody who's been through some shit and might have some good advice for you. But I don't try to solve your problems, man. I don't try to solve your problems. You know, I will give you an opportunity to express them, because I'm a strong believer in, you know, when you hear yourself say shit, you answer your own questions.
That's real.
You know, and the way I'd like to see myself, man, shit, I like to see myself as somebody, you know, who fixes shit. I would like to see myself as a person who has final solutions to work. You know, but it's not possible, man, because you know I'm always fuck up. I'm always fuck up. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but
Yeah, I mean, you answered both of them. Damon, how do you see yourself, and how were you seen?
How I see myself is not being a goddamn hypocrite, bro. That's how I see myself, not being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? And with that understanding, I have to be in control of nobody else but myself, man. I make the decisions of my life after learning from my mistakes, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't expect anybody to recognize that. I recognize it. And then from that point on, I live my life based on learning from my mistakes and not lying myself and being a hypocrite and putting that type of energy out there in the world. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be like, look here, man. I'm not gonna even argue with you about what you're going through or the mistakes you're making because I'm dealing with my own shit. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm dealing with. I'm just going to show you that I learned from my mistakes, and that's what I have, and that's who I am, and that's what I have control over. And I don't let the world, or I don't allow the world to dictate to me anything because I'm learning my damn self of what type of person I want to be. Now, it can work both ways. I can be evil, or I can learn and be my better self. I choose to be my better self, and I'm not going to broadcast it because I don't want any kudos. I don't want anything. I'm just learning for myself to see if I could be a better man and prove to myself that I can. And I don't give a damn about anybody else's opinion, man. It's about me. It does, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't affect anybody else. It only affects me because I have control of it and I have an understanding of what type of person I want to be based on my mistakes. And I want to repeat this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to live that because it's confusing and that can take a lifetime to work yourself out of. I'm simply saying, I could have been better in that situation. Nobody has to tell me that. I recognize it. And it's up to me to choose whether or not I choose to be that. You know what I'm saying? It's my choice. I can be jacked up or I can be righteous in my own accord. And I don't need somebody to say, hey, man, you know what, bro? You better now. No, I recognize that I'm better. You know what I'm saying? And whatever comes to me in that process comes. I'm not going to lie to myself. You know what I'm saying? And that takes maturity. That takes being real with yourself. And it doesn't involve any damn body else, just you. And I can live with that.
well, what about you, Keith?
The first part of the question is, how do I see myself? I don't take myself as seriously as people take me. Because what I see, how I see myself is someone, if you see that there is a leak in the dam, whether you're going to stop or not, you let somebody know that water's coming through that motherfucker. I have to say it. Now, when I was younger, it was too much of bluntness coming out the way I said it. As I gotten older, and then being in law enforcement for as many years as I've been, I measured my response. It's honest, but it is not a scathing response on how I feel. So I see myself as a community person. Like, hey, you good? Everything's good? What you think? How you think? I got a problem. Let me run this past you. I see myself as that, trying to be as authentic as possible. Right? How I'm seen is similar. but I gotta watch how I speak, because the truth that comes out of my tone may be scathing to some people who are full of themselves. Because when I approach you, I don't approach you as being this guru, this all-knowing social therapeutic dude. I don't approach you like that. The way I approach people, and the way that they see me is different. They see me as someone who said, "Oh man," somebody said it earlier. It might have been you, Damon. It might have been you, Jaquari. I hate to see you coming. It was you, Jaquari.
It was Jaquari.
I hate to see you coming. Right? But I do that, and I have the same expectation of other people. It's why I do it. You see me slipping, please fucking tell me. If you think I'm slipping, tell me. Right? It might be my stature, because I speak the same way. I don't disrespect people, all this, but people take what I say and they want to convert the Kool-Aid into kerosene. If you understand what I mean.
Kool-Aid into kerosene, that's a major difference, bro.
It's a major difference, because I'm coming in with you with Kool-Aid. Like, yo, blah, 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 bit, bit, bit. Because what I am is a problem solver. I want to help solve the problem. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but yeah, I'll sit there and listen to you, and we'll talk it out. I'll talk it out all fucking day. You feel what I'm saying? But the only people I say to you, yo, you need to do this, you need to do that, is my sons. Because they're my responsibility. But everyone else, all right, let's have a conversation about it. But sometimes I'm seen as being misunderstood. And the one thing about it, real quick, I understand now, and this is recent for me, I understand now that I have my own lane, man. As much as I want to be in that crowded ass lane as everyone else, I have my own lane. And it's like, damn, why can't I be like everybody else? That's real. I think that a lot. But I know I have control over my actions, so I don't let everybody else influence what I do. But I'm talking about being like, hell, camaraderie. Oh, we all feel the same, as long as the same is right. But if the same is wrong, I gotta make that choice. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta make that choice, because when it comes down to it, I love my sleep. I love my peace of mind.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I mean I've lived a life full of self-deprecation. You know what I mean? And thinking that I was on somebody's mind when I absolutely probably wasn't. You know, so and instead of me internalizing that, what I did was I put it on there, and don't nobody like, you know, all that. But what's spoke? They're not thinking about you, bro. They're not thinking about you, man. They trying to maintain themselves.
Yeah.
You know, your insecurities and all of the clumsy fumbling bullshit that you going through in front of them, you know, is kind of taking some of the heat off of them. So if anything, shit, they should thank you. You know what I mean?
Because you're transparent. I get that, bro. I get that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, go ahead, man. I'm thinking about what you're saying. I'm trying to process it. So
Me personally, what Malika is saying, I have to be honest. I am looking for the solution when I'm listening to you. I care how you see me, but if it's getting to the solution, getting to the answer, I have to sacrifice caring. I don't care. Right? So I'm not gonna sit up here and belittle the situation or point fingers and be all rude towards. No, what I'm saying to you is I'm thinking I'm gonna let you get it off your chest, whatever situation we in, but you'll never know how I feel because I'm looking for the greater good more than anything.
I think that no matter what I say and what my experience is, people are going to see what they want to see anyway, man. You know what I'm saying? And how do I allow myself to fall prey to that? You know what I'm saying? How do I allow myself to fall prey to that? Because a lot of I ain't gonna say most people because that's not true, but a lot of people want to see your demise, bro. So they're going to continue to have a negative view of who you are, no matter what you say. You know what I'm saying? And what I was saying, like I said earlier, I choose to take that out of their hands because it doesn't affect my life. Only thing it does is cause me to be distracted by somebody who actually don't really care about me and choose to see me in a negative connotation. You choose to do that, especially if it's somebody who don't really know me, but they can jump on a situation where they can, distract from themselves and pile on me because it's convenient or it's opportunistic and shit. And it's like, how do I allow myself to be even involved with that when you don't really know what I'm going through? You're just speculating on what it is that you think, air quotes, is the obvious. And you're so far from the truth. So imagine you co-signing that bullshit, which has absolutely nothing to do with solving the problem in your life. Nothing. It's just somebody's opinion. Because negative people, what is the one thing that they want to say? Hey, man, you know what? I ain't doing good, but I'm doing better than him or her. You know what I'm saying? How do you reconcile that, man, when it comes to your life and you trying to solve a problem in your life? It doesn't. It just makes you bitter and indifferent, man. And it's not solving a problem. And it doesn't, and it definitely doesn't affect you personally when you're trying to figure out what you're going through. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't do it, man. So it's like, okay, you run into a brother who always gives you problems or whatever, and you trying to figure out the reason why. Damn, man, you will never get that time back. You will never get that time back. It's like, man, this dude, every time I see him, he don't like me. He always coming at me in a negative way. And it's like, why do you get that validity, man? Why do you even care? Because they don't even know you. They just see an opportunity where they feel emboldened to say something. And you like finding yourself arguing with this person or giving this person time that you can never get back. And it's like, man, instead of understanding the truth, you avoiding, bro. If your goal is to every time you see me is to prove to yourself that you're better than me, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know me, so you confused. You confused, and you're wasting not just my time but your own. So you know what I'm saying? I don't have time to be thinking about your bullshit. And not unless you step to me. And some cats get to that point where I don't like this person, I'm gonna try him. Who does that shit? How many cats in the graveyard because of that dumbass shit?
That's real.
And it has nothing to do with his life or yours. It's just motherfucker want to stick his chest out and say, hey, man, I'm going to clown him because everybody admire him. And it's like, why? I mean, damn, dude. 2 lives ended. One going to jail and one in the grave. For what? And y'all don't even know each other. So you have to figure out, within knowing thyself, you have to figure out what you know what I'm saying, where you fight, man. You have to have an understanding of where you fight for yourself. And that fight is not with anybody else aside of yourself. It's you. Hey, dude, I'm not going to deal with that. Because it doesn't really affect me. But if you off into that machismo bullshit, I'm a man. You ain't gonna talk to me that way. How many cats is dead because of that dumbass shit?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's about picking and choosing your battles, isn't it? Imagine being in a hospital, you're losing your life, and your family suffering from a cat that don't even know you. He want to challenge your manhood because, I mean, just think about this for a minute. Cat challenge you out of the blue. He feels, in essence, less than the man in you. So he has to prove himself based on what he thinks that you are. And don't have any idea. How many brothers have lost their lives in that scenario? And families suffering because of laws. That is the dumbest shit in the world. Hey, dude, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to step back. Oh, man, you a bitch. Damn, dog, I don't believe you. And I'm going to walk away. Now, if you hold on to that conviction that you think I'm a bitch, then stop me from walking away. The law on my side in that regard, bro. So it's choices, man, and understanding.
No doubt.
And you don't get to be almost 60 years old with not having that understanding.
All right, well, look. Last question of the day. I started earlier. Let's give it 2 years. Because we some old motherfuckers up in here, so we can't afford. We can't afford 5 years. So you give yourself 2 years, and it don't have to do with any, because both you guys and myself, even though our expectation is more wealth in our lives, our recent lives, that's our expectations. So we're not talking about the wealth. I'm talking about you as individuals, where you are. Where do you see yourself and how you think in 2 years? We'll start with you, Damon.
You talking about, you said wealth. I don't value money.
No wealth. No. We're excluding wealth. I'm talking
you say excluding wealth.
We're talking about you as a person, how you think.
How I think, man, is that the only way I'm gonna contribute to the world is I understand what I need to work on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because how I act in the world is gonna affect people in a real way. It's gonna affect people in a real way. So what do I want my legacy to be? Am I an asshole? Am I understanding? Am I just a person getting by? I don't know. I can't put a finger on it because I'm figuring it out for myself. But it's not going to be on the negative side of things. It's not going to be on the negative side of things because I'm not challenging anybody. If you don't know me personally, why do I care? Yeah. And I'm not saying that in a malicious way. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna the world is an evil place. And what I mean by evil is going to tell you something that you're not internally in terms of your best self. Saying you in search of that, but just because everybody want to, be the same and fit in and all that stuff, sometimes that shit don't coincide with who you are, who you trying to be. And nobody's going to have the answer to who you are until you figure that shit out for yourself, man. And then in figuring that shit out for yourself, you conduct yourself that way. And that doesn't involve anybody else. That's what it is that you're choosing to be in the world. The place that you're at, that's what you're choosing to be. And nobody dictates that, you do. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just choosing to be an asshole and that's who you are, and that's how the world going to see you. But if you're trying to be your best self, then you might change a life somewhere, bro. A life that you never be in contact with. And that's how I believe God works.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you serve the purpose.
Okay. Jaquari, 2 years, brother.
In 2 years, man, I hope to have learned how to be of some use to myself, man. Because in my mind, I give a lot. Be that whether that's the case or not. Who's to say? But I can only focus on me in that sense. You know what I mean? Just figuring out ways, man, to make myself happy, man, and trying to gain some of the things that I say that I want. My issue is once I achieve those things, they sort of lose their luster. You know what I mean? So satisfaction, man. Self-satisfaction. Satisfaction with with myself and my deeds.
It all goes hand in hand, my guy.
Right, bro. I mean, so you might have achieved your goals, bro.
No doubt.
Right, yeah.
My answer to the question is, and this is profoundly truthful. In 2 years, to be able to navigate the popularity of Strong Perspective Podcast and to be able to put it in place where the three of us beneficially gain everything that we deserve from this podcast. Short and sweet, because me personally, I've always been on, I'm always thinking, and I'm on that path of understanding. I've done everything that I can possibly do emotionally. So I'm still there, still developing it. Mentally, knowledgeably, everything, I'm still on that path. But understanding this situation we have, where it might be a little modest to most folks, but it is getting ready to catch fire. Now, before we go quickly, I just want to address this. I put it on the screen. This is the reason why I put it on the screen, and I'm going to address it because it's 2 Fridays in a row that we was asked the same question. Malika asked, if y'all was to write down how you think your brother saw you on a piece of paper, and I asked them to write down how they see you, do you think what's written down would be the same? If it's different, good or bad, has no impact on you. Quickly, just address it real quick because I think that's a great question to ask. Anybody who have any comment on that?
Yeah, I have no idea what either one of you were right, but good or bad, I have no doubt that it would be the truth. Yeah,
I agree. I think my personal opinion about it is whatever opinion that you both have about me, I know it's authentic. Whether I agree with it or not, I know it's authentic. You know what I'm saying? So to have that knowledge would be a benefit to me.
I think, man, if it's genuine, then you think about it and you say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna incorporate that in my life." If it's genuine and it's real, coming from both my brothers, I have to pay attention to it, man, and it's going to impact me in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what's needed. Somebody that supports you, somebody that has took the time to even have an opinion about what they think about the type of person you are and your character. You know what I'm saying? And then it has a nerve that has some validity to it. Shit. That's that man, there's somebody in this world, man, that gives a damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we went a little longer than we usually do, but this is the first show of 2025, like a motherfucker.
Yep. 2025, man.
Come on, man.
I didn't. I had no concept of it, man. Hell, 5 years ago, 2025. I mean, shit. I'm thinking we gonna be living like the Jetsons by this time, man. But
Living like what?
Astro.
You say living like what, bro?
The Jetsons.
But Happy New Year, cuz. Love you, baby.
Appreciate your participation, sister.
Yeah, love you.
Love you.
Auntie Robin, love you too, baby. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe. Build our numbers up, man. We modest right now. We ain't hit 200 yet. Look, by the time we're in the middle of February, we should be up at least 300. I'm being modest about it. I want us to be up 1,000, but people I know, people who see this, just go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Give this podcast the chance to reach people, because we're about conversation. We're about really and truly real conversations about everything that we're doing. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's a conversation. Hell, you saw today, it got to a point where it became a debate. But me personally, I straightened the debate out in my head. I saw where my brothers was coming from, right? And I tried to get them to see where I came from. Whether it happened or not, doesn't matter. But you saw what we did. We worked it out. Matter of fact, what we did, at least what we did was gave whoever's watching this the opportunity to choose sides. To choose fucking sides. If it was a side to choose. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. And before you move on, Keith, I mean, I wanted to say earlier that I am not a radical. I am a part of this community, and I value everything that it's given me. And yeah,
there it is.
That part.
There it is. All right. Any last words?
Good show, fellas. Good show. I appreciate your time, man, and I look forward to the next.
Hey, look here, man. Y'all made my day, man. I had to talk to my brothers. You know what I'm saying? There's been a time I wasn't on here, and I'm trying to make up time now. For real.
No doubt.
I missed yesterday because I thought yesterday was Wednesday.
You ain't miss anything because I ain't show up either, man. But
You didn't?
no.
So I'm sitting over here, you understand, feeling bad, you understand?
Well,
you ain't show up either?
You should have said something then. How about that? You just hopped on this motherfucker. You just hopped on this motherfucker like trying to be invisible. You see that?
I sit up here talking about, man, they ain't call me and shit, man. Whoa, me, woo, woo.
Y'all. I sat on there for a half hour yesterday. Hey man, look, I got a new phone, and couldn't remember the damn number to the Zoom, man.
All right, I'll send it to you.
No, I got it. I went through my mental Rolodex and figured it out. But I was like, damn, man, I'm too married to technology, man. Too dependent upon that.
Look, me and Jaquari. Was you on there when we talked about the GPS, Damon? You was on there when we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
That was some real stuff. I wasn't trying to front. I'm gonna tell you, I was Daniel Boone before GPS. You could put me in the middle of Kentucky, I'll get to California. Now I'm like,
what's funny was what Keith said, man, they done tore down the goddamn landmarks and shit. I'm lost.
Yeah. And when they came out with MapQuest, I was like, shit, this is the best damn thing since sliced bread, man. That's when I could actually read and drive at the same goddamn time. Nowadays, I get a text, man, I be shaking like Don Knotts, like be scared to answer my text and shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I was talking to a little young, one of my little young boys, right? We texting. I'm sitting on my damn easy chair, this big ass chair. I'm sitting up there, beep, 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 long ass conversations and shit. And he hit me back. Then I said, yo, what you doing? I'm driving. I said to myself, damn. I got this man driving, right? And he's not just sending me like one sentence, John. He's sending me like, this is a conversation. I said, hey man, get off this phone.
Yeah.
With one thumb and shit.
Yeah.
And you write paragraphs.
And did not misspell a word. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, no. But look, I'm gonna tell you,
my girl be like, Dad, we done talked about that 15 minutes ago. Keep up now.
I'll tell you, the funny thing is, we're lucky because we're considered old heads, but we experience the technology. Now imagine folks in the 70s, 70-year-old folks who got the phones, and I'm on the TikTok and I'm trying to send you a message. You know what I mean? Like, man, I look, the baby boomers and the Gen Xers was blessed because we got touched with everything. You feel what I'm saying? We might be a little behind when it comes to the phone technology, but we in the race though. You know what I'm saying?
Look at, and then you text back them 7 years. You take back, hey man, why don't you get rid of that damn flip phone and shit, man? So you
yeah.
So you can text right along with us, man. Did you do that?
Oh shit! Yeah, y'all remember the Obama phones when the number pads was about this big?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't tease it nothing like that because I said to myself, hell, I need one of them Jones right there.
One of them jitterbugs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, folks. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. We're on every Friday at 7:30. You know, it's a conversational program. This is what we're doing. This is how we do it. We promote conversation. Young and old, we promote conversation. You let your people know. This is what we do. And we invite comments. Come into the chats. We invite comments. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
You see that? You see that last text Leak put on?
Don't click on that.
I know. I'm just gonna put that right there. But please go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. And folks, especially in my friend group, which I got about 2,000 people in my Facebook friend group, if you run across this and you want to come on, hit me up, message me, and we welcome you to come on.
Hey, look here. I'm gonna say this too, man. I haven't been on Facebook for so many years, man. You know, apparently a lot of people said something to you for my birthday. I apologize if I didn't respond. I'm just not on Facebook anymore. So thank you, and I appreciate y'all, you know, reaching out and saying, you know, happy birthday. Thank you. Love you.
All right, folks. This is Strong Perspective Podcast. Go like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Build our numbers up. And we're going to build, look, we building a movement. Hey, let's just make it happen. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Peace.